Hello there, how you doing?
Hi.
So yeah, it's been a while since we made the last video because we're very busy with Kickstarters and everything else. Today we're gonna be talking to you about a very, well, personally I think one of the most interesting games that are currently widely-ish available, and that would be...
The Burning Wheel. It's so pretty!
It's very pretty. So, Burning Wheel. From the start, what?
It's a beautiful book.
It is a very beautiful book.
What we have right here is called the Gold Edition, which is... It's a combined version of the Burning Wheel revised and something called the Character Burner, so it's a nice, beautiful 600 page book containing basically everything you need to play, but there is also a volume 2 called Codex that we do not have, so we're not gonna be talking about it. I'm gonna buy it. So.
In any case, this is a very peculiar system because it has a very specific audience. It has the math phys class of your local high school.
That's me.
And me. And it is going to either be loved or hated by your players depending on what kind of party you are. So right from the start, this is not the kind of a game that you can play with your average, you know, RPG horror stories on Reddit or a party of players that do not like being dedicated and learning all they can about the system and delving into the mechanics and being always prepared. Like, if you have players that play on their phone or like ask you what spells do they have again, or what does this stat do, or what dice do you roll, this is not going to be the game for you. It's just going to be an exercise in frustration, and you might, you know, end up committing aggravated homicide. So we do not recommend Burning Wheel to you if you are that kind of a player or if you have players like that. But, however, on the other extreme, if you have players that are always super researching everything and over-preparing for everything and reading every little bit of lore and mechanic, then chances are you're going to have a very long and climactic campaign that is going to be very atmospheric and memorable going on through the generations of your imaginary family, unless your players are more dedicated than I give them credit for.
If you know the meme about us having to stop rolling dice because we've been doing it for years and never get better at it, the Burning Wheel is actually the RPG where you can, within months of playing, get better at it. Because this system is built for people who will engage with the mechanics, who will engage with the world, who will actively participate in creating it. Which is a perfect segue to tell you about the creator of the Burning Wheel, who is Luke Crane, who you might already know from slightly more approachable games such as Mouseguard and The Torchbearer. Both Mouseguard and Torchbearer are basically casual version of the Burning Wheel. So if you want to have a gentle entry into this system, picking one of the newer ones is probably a good idea. But if you want to go full on with this,
yeah,
expect the first 4 hours of your game to be character creation.
Yeah, the problem, like, it's not even that the mechanics of the Burning Wheel are complicated, because don't get me wrong, they are not, we are making fun of it a little bit. The problem is that there is a lot of them, there is a lot of rules that you have to learn, there is a lot of exceptions, there is a lot of specific things that you have to do, there is a lot of specific subsystems that you have to learn to make your specific character concept to work, and it is all written in what I personally see as the world's most beautiful way of writing things, which is a logical circuit. Everything is perfectly understandable, but you are going to have a square head by the end of page 5. Like, for example, this is just a random sentence I looked at, it's not even the weirdest one on the page. The superficial wound tolerance is equal to half forte rounded down +1. Yeah, I know it's funky, but it's necessary. Like, that's a quote.
That comment was in
Yes.
that paragraph.
Yes. We've already determined your character's mortal wound in step 7. That attribute is a coordinate on the physical tolerances grayscale PTGS located on your character sheet. Place the mortal wound tolerance on your character's PTGS now and other greatest hits. That greatest hit part was me, but everything else was in the book. So the whole book is written like that. So if you have no problem quickly absorbing language like that at a glance, then it is not going to be a very crunchy system for you, but you are still going to have to remember and memorize a lot, or make yourself like flash notes or something. And for some people it's going to be a flow, all jokes aside, because modern RPGs are usually written in as user-friendly and easily graspable language as possible, and while the math in the Burning Wheel is not actually more complicated than, for example, in the Pathfinder, it is written in a way that make it a little inaccessible to people who are not used to mathematics, really. So it is definitely a minus for the game if you have problem with obtuse language, but if, like me, you think that the language is mankind's greatest tool to obfuscate information, then it's going to be the game for you.
The Burning Wheel doesn't come with specific setting, it is this Tolkien-esque fantasy. There are a couple of settings, but I haven't played them and I don't really know them all that well. I know they exist. There's Japan-like, and there's something themed for the Arabian Nights.
Yeah, but the Golden Edition has general Western European 15th century-ish setting coming on with it, together with little bits of Tolkien-esque fantasy spliced here and there, where you, for example, can have elves and stuff like that.
Yeah, there are humans, there are elves, dwarves,
And orcs. Yeah, and the art style is neat.
It's very classy.
Yeah, it's very classy.
Well, the Burning Wheel is basically built mostly for this Tolkien-esque but low magic settings, because sure, there will be some powerful characters, but the game plays out best at the lower magic levels, where you have different challenges that aren't just combats, where this game actually comes with mechanics that make traveling or cooking a meal or having a conversation an actual encounter, as opposed to just everything being balanced around
Walking into people's houses and stealing their shit.
or just murdering a bunch of goblins.
That's what I said. So yeah, the Burning Wheel gives you lots of options and it can create actually really unique experience in most RPGs, because usually, especially in modern games, it is all centered around all the characters having comparable power levels and comparable abilities. So in some of the most popular systems out there, all characters end up looking the same and bland because of that, because basically all you get is whatever flavor you put into the character. The system generally is going to produce you undigestible mulch. This is exactly not the case with the Burning Wheel, where characters can be drastically different from each other and they can have vastly varying power levels. So if you wanted to create like a really Lord of the Ring-esque experience, you can have this one guy who's a wizard in a party, and then other players can be, I don't know, the guy's bodyguards, and the last player can be their cook. And the game is going to come along nicely and is going to present narrative and mechanical challenge for everybody. However, it is not going to be suited for most modern RPG parties as they are being advertised and played today, because it requires a lot of dedication and it's simply not something that you can play casually. Like, I was joking a lot about it at the start of the video, but it do be like that. It does require a lot of dedication and concentration in the will to play this game, and otherwise it is going to probably fizzle out. But it is also a game that is very commonly played 1v1 nowadays, or so I hear, where you have a game master and a player going to campaigns back and forth. And it is also very much playable solo, because the mechanics are really comprehensive and they do a very rare thing in RPGs, which is they provide you with a mechanical structure to resolve conflicts without arbitrary decisions, which is why the game is a little hard to get into. But if you want to, you can play it yourself, and you're never going to be left to like your own decision of like generally playing make-believe, because it's always going to be a game.
Well, in my opinion, the most beautiful thing about the Burning Wheel is the character development, because a big part of your character creation is crafting the goals and ideals and bonds for your character. And I don't mean a single sentence like you have in popular RPG games. Literally the first page of the character sheet is all of your character's goals and plans, and they are the drive for the campaign. And the actions of your character are pushing the narrative forward, because this is not a game that's built for pre-written adventures. This is very much created for sandbox playing and for player agency. And you craft a character that has specific personality, specific goals, specific community that they come from, flows and bonds, and from that the game expands.
Yeah, and it has a functional mechanic that's going to allow the events to play out themselves and steamroll out of control, even if you're playing alone.
The important thing is also that your character is going to change, because in the Burning Wheel you learn things by doing them. So it's more something that we're used to in video games than it is in role-playing games. So you learn skills by using them, and for example, if you want to remove specific traits from your character, you actually have to work towards them, and those are things that are mechanically inbuilt into the system and not left to GM deciding that yes, your character is not a coward anymore because they did this, this and that.
But at the same time, the mechanics don't take it too far. You don't have to go into like ridiculous detail of your character, like this one game that left permanent scars on my brain where you had to calculate the circumference of certain body parts. The character creation is detailed, but not overly so, is all I wanted to say before I fell into a rabbit hole.
Don't worry, your rabbit holes make, perfect outtakes.
That's great.
That's how we feel in our TikTok channel, which you should check out. And also you should check out us on all the other social media, and preferably click subscribe on this channel as well, and ring the bell so you can get notified when we put out a new video.
But yeah, you should absolutely check out Anna's Kickstarter if you haven't already. It's amazing. HERBALIST'S PRIMER is coming out soon. She wrote a book, and it's great. You should absolutely check it out. And I don't know, that's it. Bye. Why are you still here? Now the video's over. Go home.
No, wait, so we can pitch our Patreon to you.
We already didn't we? Haven't we?
No, we haven't yet.
Aha.
So now please look at the list of those beautiful people who are supporting us on Patreon, and you can join them and have early access to stuff that we publish. Also leave us a comment what RPG you would like us to very chaotically review next time. Maybe we have it. Jakub just got himself a new baby.
Me no.
I'm sure we're gonna have plenty of fun talking about The Witcher some other day. It's a Polish thing after all, even if the RPG isn't.
Yeah, but also the Polish thing is written by a guy I don't like, so...
Gonna be fun. Stay tuned.
Yes. Bye.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
I think we should have the camera higher so the top of your head is actually in the... No, just let me get another book.
Okay. Tell you that...
Our ring light just died.
It did.
It did.
I was wondering what the hell what happened, and it was the ring light. Anyway, despite the sudden change in the lightning, imagine this is mood lightning, because we haven't posted anything in a while.
What?
Well, I haven't.
Yeah, we're posting a video every week.
Maybe you do.
I mean, I am.
I love my job. Anyway,